Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bravo Tea with a Stay-at-Home Mom. I'm Erica, and I'm ready to talk all things Bravo.
Welcome back, everybody. And on this episode, we're going to be recapping the Real Housewives of Orange County, and then we'll get into a little Bravo tea at the end. So let's just kick it off. Heather is having high tea for Jen and Gina, and it's Valentine's Day. And it's always so crazy to watch the different times. We're in August right now. This is all the way back in February. But Heather and Terry are just joking about the paparazzi photos. They're like, we would never do that. And I don't know. Like, a lot of people said that they think that they did do that because a lot of people have come out and said, including the guest I had on, Ashley, the official Bravo mom, that paparazzi doesn't just hang out in Disneyland. Because I never thought about this. They would have to pay to go in and then hope a celebrity is going to be there. Now, I'm sure you're going to count on at least one celebrity being there on a daily basis, but the risk of paying for that and nobody there does kind of lead me to believe that Heather did organize for them to come, and the pictures were so posy, and I don't know. The only proof we have is that little text message, and like I said, anyone could have wrote that. We don't even have a name at the top, and it's not like it's a picture of Heather texting the paparazzi. It's just a screenshot of the article, and then Katie said, settle this for me. Did Heather do this? And whoever she's texting just says yes. So it's like, that's not enough proof for me, to be honest. But then we have Shannon going over to Katie's house to kind of talk about all that. So, and this is all happening on Valentine's Day. And then she says she definitely has to talk to Tamra. Shannon says this because of all of the shit talking that Tamra is doing. It's really got to be hard. Shannon is going through it with friends, relationships. Now we got the legal stuff, and all the while, her ex-boyfriend's girlfriend has to be on her show. So it's not even like she can ignore Alexis because she has now lured back into her life onto Bravo, crawling back for her spot. But then we have Emily making a little dig. It's funny. She says that she won the golf tournament. So she won those sunglasses that Katie was giving away. And she said maybe she'll give them to Jen so that she could travel with them in Las Vegas. And then we see a little clip of Jen and Ryan being in Las Vegas. And all the ladies are, if she buys a new bracelet, all the ladies are going to shit on her like, oh, you should have been paying your rent, not buying that, not doing that. We know that she's now living off of Ryan, which is, Tamra said before, don't get comfortable doing that because anything can happen, which I do agree with. But they can't act like Jen's never going to do anything or go anywhere just because she didn't pay the rent at that house, or her car payment, by the way, or the yoga studio rent also. But definitely not a good look if you owe people money and you're out gallivanting in Las Vegas, whether your boyfriend paid for it or not. But then Gina and Jen are arriving at Heather's, her palatial penthouse, for their high tea and their little Korean face masks. And it's so funny. They have the same little eye mask. So I get them on Amazon in a big giant box pack, and I put them in the fridge so they're nice and cool, and you just kind of put them on those little gel eye masks. I'll put them on my Instagram stories. I need to reorder them, actually, now that I'm thinking about this. But it was so funny. Theirs were like falling off of their face, because I will say, if you talk with them on, like I put them on my eyes, but if I start talking with them, they kind of do slide off because they are a little slippery. So obviously the ladies are hardcore gossiping. So the little eye masks are like falling all the way down to their cheeks, I feel like. And then they're doing those Korean face masks. Now I have to say, I had those ones that are going viral lately on TikTok. I had them for a while and I hadn't used them yet. And I saw these people using them. I'm like, oh my God, are these the ones I have in the drawer? Gonna bust these bad boys out. So a lot of people were sleeping in them. And then the next day when they woke up, the mask had like melted into their face, and they peel it off and the skin is all smooth and shiny. So I tried it. It was very weird to sleep in it because it's like a sheet mask. So you put it on, it was like white and kind of rubbery. Well, if I don't tell you, the next day I woke up and peeled it off my face. It was like, it was all clear. So it went from like white rubber to like clear, blended in on my face. And when I took that bad boy off, my skin was very supple and smooth. It was wonderful. I need to do it again. Definitely, if you can get your hands on those face masks, because now I feel like they're hard to buy, and I had already had them, so I looked out. But please get them, those Korean face masks. Just type in like viral Korean face mask. But Katie is showing Shannon the paparazzi text message. And like I said, we don't even see the name on it. So how do we know this is real? This could just be set up. I don't trust these people anymore, honestly. With the printouts, we're like, oh, receipts and proof and timeline. But it's like, I need it on both phones because you could just put a random person's name, which we're not even seeing the name on this. So how do I know who you're texting? Be texting your mom this. I don't know. But Tamra said in her confessional, she feels like we will be going to Katie's funeral very soon because of all the talkings that Katie is doing. And then Gina and Jen's eye masks are falling off the face still when they are talking to Heather. And Emily and Shane go out for a nice Valentine's Day dinner. So like we saw the ladies be together on Valentine's Day. We didn't really see any of the ladies with their men. So I was happy to see them going out for a Valentine's Day dinner. And then good old Shane upgraded Emily's ring after 15 years of marriage. And then her gift to him was the slutty photo from her photo shoot. And she had somebody bring out the giant gift and it said like, for you only, or your eyes for Shane. And then he opened it and it's the giant picture. And it's so funny that they're like in the middle of dinner at this restaurant and he's like opening it and it's like a huge picture of Emily, a little slutty. She wasn't naked. She was just a little promiscuous, that photo shoot. So when I listened to her on Jeff Lewis, she said that the producers were like, oh, do you want to do this photo shoot? And she's like, yeah, I guess. Because my husband was like, oh my God, I can't believe she's doing that on camera. And I said, well, I wonder if it was like the producer's idea to do it. And I was like, but I don't know. I could see Emily doing that. And she said it was a producer's idea, but she ended up doing it. Then she said there are all these pictures of her and Shannon together. And Shane went, well, where are those pictures? I want to see those. I love their marriage. I love their banter. They're really fun to watch. They're a very strong couple. And I think he's so funny. And remember his mom was always like popping up in the camera. It was so funny. Like, I hope we get a little cameo of her this year. But she said she hopes this year that they are married another 15 years and that Shane gets a life insurance policy that she's the beneficiary of. Maybe they shouldn't call Vicky for it, though, because she's currently being sued by that lady. But I thought that was funny that Emily's like, I want him to, stay healthy and well and get that life insurance policy and make me the beneficiary. And then him live healthily. But if he doesn't, I'm going to get some money. But then Katie and Gina get coffee together. And she said she feels like Gina just didn't have her back with the whole Heather situation. And Gina was like, I told you not to bring it up. And she said, if anything, she does have more of Heather's back because she just feels like she told Katie not to kind of like go there with Heather. Like, you don't want to go toes with Heather, as Lala would say. It is hard because, Gina is close with Heather and I don't think she wants to poke that bear because Heather could get legal on your ass if you stir her the wrong way, I feel like. I don't know. It's just, I feel like Katie's really, really, this is going to be the thing she harps on all season with Heather. And she's going to feel like almost she had to be drama on the show. Some of these women, if they don't come in guns ablaze in the first year with drama, people are like, oh, well, we need to get rid of you because you didn't really do anything controversial. But sometimes it's try hard. And this is a little try hard right now. It's like every episode, are we going to talk about the damn paparazzi pictures and this lack of evidence text message that we're seeing? It's going to be a little hard. But I like that Gina was like, well, I told you not to bring it up. And yeah, I do have Heather's back with it. Because at the end of the day, we don't know. We all don't know. But then Shannon goes to lunch with her dad, which I love seeing the appearance of her dad because we've seen him before. So she's telling him that John Jansen, a.k.a. Johnny J, is suing her for the $75,000. And unless she comes up with the money by next week, They're going to go to court. Like, they're taking legal action. And Gene, aka Shannon's dad, says that you gotta go for the jugular with this one. Maybe he's gotta go get a job, which I like that. I feel like her dad was insinuating that John Jansen doesn't work and doesn't have a job, which I love that. But then Tamra is meeting with Alexis, the now tryhard of the group that currently has eyebrows from the year 2000. Like, she still is rocking that weird eyebrow look from back in the day that all the ladies had, and she's still having it, where it's like thick right where the beginning of your eyeball is, and then it goes thin. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing?
And a little bit of la, 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 la. A little bit of Alexis.
And then Alexis is just wondering why Gina is inviting her to the dinner that all the ladies are going to go to at the end of the episode. And Katie didn't invite her to the golf outing. And it's like, it's probably because you're not a real cast member and you're just there to suck the life out of Shannon, to be honest. I mean, Alexis is not in the opening credits. I don't even think Alexis is technically a friend of. I feel that all of this started happening, her dating John Jansen, and the producers were like, oh, this is going to be good. We got to get this bitch on screen. And also, I feel like the reason Vicky came back, because she was firm and saying she wouldn't unless she was full-time, is because she felt bad for Shannon. So she's being a girl's girl and showing up for Shannon because of Tamra turning her back on Shannon. So I feel like Vicky was worried, like, oh my God, not only does she not have Tamra as an ally now, Alexis is there. So what's going to happen? Like, I need to come and help and support her. But all the ladies go to the dinner, and Vicky comes accompanied with Shannon. And like we said, Alexis is going to be there. Blah. And they immediately are talking about the $75,000 with John Jansen. And Alexis said that Shannon's going to need to get her facts right if she's going to talk shit about her man. And she said the $75,000 that John is trying to get back from her was for Shannon's facelift. So when I had heard Shannon on Jeff Lewis, he was like, oh yeah, doesn't John Jansen say that it was for a facelift? She's like, yeah, and it wasn't for that. So Alexis said that John has receipts, and I just would find that really hard to believe. It's like, first of all, if you just have the receipt from her facelift and you paid for it, oh well for you. I don't know why you think that merits you being paid back. If you don't have a promissory note and something signed by someone saying they're going to pay you back, it is considered a gift. So I don't know if they ended up going to court with all this, but if he really wants to, if he doesn't have anything written that Shannon had to pay him back, he's just going to be shit out of luck. So he might as well just save all that money and not spend it and not even bother putting him and Shannon through all the heartache. And the thing that's like would bother me personally, like if I was Alexis, but I feel like she secretly likes this, I'd be like, you know what? That's your ex. Let's just put it in the past. There's really no proof of her having to pay you back. We don't want to deal with her in the legal system. Like, this is just annoying. I already got to be on the show with her because I'm desperate and want to be back on TV. But do we really want to be involved with her in court? Like, I would be like, can we do the least amount of possible with your ex-girlfriend? But obviously, she enjoys this to some degree, I feel. And she also doesn't mind being in the shadow of Shannon because she's gone on the same trips that John and Shannon did, same restaurants, which that could be give or take. I mean, I'm not going to not go eat at the restaurants I like just because I went with my ex, but it is a little weird that he's just taking Alexis to do all the same things. And I would be like, whatever to the restaurants, but maybe let's find some new ones also. And then let's definitely never go on the same vacation that you and your ex-girlfriend did. Just there's so many places to go. Let's just not even do that. But I did love that we got the appearance from Vicky. And then Alexis is literally calling Katie out at the table. And she said, oh, I heard that you had a golfing event and I wasn't invited to. And it's like, yeah, because You're not a full-time cast member. Like, please stop being annoying. And she's just got to be so annoying in front of Shannon. And I just feel bad. And then Shannon is ordering a drink. And immediately Tamara's like, oh, why are you doing that? And Vicky says she can have a drink. She's not driving. She's not getting behind the wheel. And Tamara says, oh, so you think an alcoholic should order a drink? So this is a tangled web that we are starting to weave, because Tamara is really not letting go of the fact that she thinks Shannon is an alcoholic. To me, I don't see her behind closed doors. Like, maybe Tamara has seen more than we all have. Like, obviously when she alluded to the whole thing that she was like sneaking alcohol backstage at that Trace Amigas show. Obviously, if things like that are happening, maybe. But I don't necessarily feel like, from what we've seen, or just because Shannon got a DUI, that she's an alcoholic. She had a bad night. She was in a bad relationship that definitely should have just been over. She was yelling about Alexis Bellino that night at the restaurant she came from. So I don't know if her and John weren't really like formally broken up. Maybe they were on a break or whatever. And maybe he was already seeing Alexis and she got wind of it and flipped out, and she had been drinking. So I'm not defending Shannon for getting a DUI. Obviously, that is wrong that she did. But the fact that Tamra is really doubling down and in front of everyone and on camera being like, oh, well, she's an alcoholic, and why do you think she should be ordering a drink? And I mean, honestly, it's just...
It's my opinion!
It is her opinion, but she's just really, really doubling down on nothing but she's an alcoholic. Not like she had a bad night. She's an alcoholic because she had a DUI, which I don't really think is fair, because look at Gina. Yes, Gina stopped drinking, but if Gina didn't stop drinking, I wouldn't consider her an alcoholic. She just got behind the wheel when she shouldn't have, which I'm sure we are all guilty of doing. So Shannon's just resulted in crashing into a house, but I feel like it's because Shannon isn't a good driver anyway. And she said she revved the engine up because she was all mad, and that's where it went south. But then Alexis is pulling out the receipts from good old Johnny J for that facelift. And it's just too much. She's coming in hot. And I know she used to be on the show, but I just really feel like she came back for a full takedown of Shannon. And it's just not a good look on her. And I don't like this. It's bad enough that Shannon has to film with her, but the fact that it's like, oh, let me bring this and let me just shit on you at the table. And then we got Tamra at the other end of the table saying Shannon's an alcoholic. It's like, dear God, you guys are going to drive this woman into another house, to be honest. And it's just none of Alexis's business at the end of the day what John and Shannon did financially in their relationship. Should Shannon pull out all the receipts of shit she bought him? What if she bought him shoes for Christmas? Should she ask for them back? It's just, at the end of the day, if he went to that plastic surgery place and paid for her facelift, oh, well, you should have said no. But you know what? At the time, it was fine for you to do that. But now, since you're not together, all of a sudden, you need and want the money back. And she's supposed to pay you back. Well, I just think it's weird, because also Shannon is like, this is a lie, but I want to see the receipt. I can't believe Alexis didn't throw it up on the screen like Katie did with that weird text message between her and the paparazzi guy. So if you really have the facelift receipt, can we see it, please? Vicky tells everyone that this is just not how we treat women, and we need to uplift women. And then Tamra says, after Vicky gives the whole speech of uplifting women because Shannon has bolted for the door because she's crying, Tamra said Shannon needs to go to rehab. And it's like, yep, we're still just not uplifting those women. But I really feel like Shannon has taken this seriously. I don't think she obviously is ever going to drink and get behind the wheel again. She learned her lesson. She has daughters that she wants to set an example for. And Tamra just will not rest until Shannon admits like, oh, I'm a full-blown alcoholic loser and I'm going to go to rehab. And Tamra still wouldn't be her friend at the end of the day. So I don't think it really matters if Shannon goes to rehab or not, because I think her and Tamra's relationship is not salvageable. It's just like Jersey. Like, where do you go when it's just been too much by somebody? And now that Tamra is close with Alexis, that's just a nail in the coffin done. But I just really need to see all this proof that Alexis is saying she has that is going to ruin Shannon's reputation, because she's saying that as well. So we're over the facelift receipt. All these apparent bad things that John Jansen has that will just make us go, oh, Shannon is terrible, and the bring down of Shannon. It was like, that's what Teresa said. Oh, you're going to see my brother's true colors this season and how terrible he is. He's like, why? Because he threw your housewarming gift that was pure BS card in the fire and didn't want to read it. That's going to show us like who he really is. Like, I thought she was going to say he like murdered someone back in the day and it's like a cover up. I mean, what do all these people think is going to ruin Shannon's reputation? She already got a DUI and we know about it. I think that's ruining her reputation enough. So what do you have, John Jansen, AKA
Not today, Satan.
that is just going to totally ruin Shannon's reputation? I don't know. I know that they're all going to go to Big Bear later in the season, and I can't even believe they're all going to stay under one roof. I guess it's not as bad as Jersey, but after the season, I feel like it will be. This reunion will be good because they are going to get into it with all the bad stuff Alexis keeps alluding to, and it's like, girl, just show them at this point. Like, it's almost worse that you're saying there's terrible stuff instead of just pulling the terrible stuff out. And if this is true, you shouldn't be embarrassed. I mean, and you shouldn't have to lie, and you shouldn't have to not show it. It's just like if Katie is really texting that paparazzi guy, show us the name on the text message. I want to see everything. I want to see all the proof. If you are telling the truth, then there is no reason to retract any statements or hide. I would full throttle with those receipts and proof if they think they really have something that could ruin Shannon's reputation. I mean, what do we all think it is? I don't, like I said, she already got a DUI. Like, I just really want to know what it is. Is she's saying something really awful about castmates or about like children of the cast? Like, I have no idea. But let's take a little break and then we will come back with some Bravo tea. Do you ever struggle finding unique gifts for kids that will be excited about? Look no further. Ellie and Mila Boutique has everything from custom jean jackets, backpacks, sneakers, and more. Go to ellieandmila.com. That's ELLIEANDMILA.com to use my code BRAVOT10 to receive 10% off your order. I know my daughters have the jean jackets and the fanny packs from there. I'm going to get them backpacks, and I just got them sneakers. They are so cute. They kind of look like golden goose sneakers. Everything is just so unique. So get them for your own kids or for gifts, friends, baby showers, anything. Everything is perfect. So that's ellieandmila.com and use my code BRAVOT10. And we're back. I feel like that recap of Orange County was really short. I'm sorry, guys. But I don't really have much to say about it because I just feel like every episode is going to be the same. It's going to be that damn text message, lack of proof between Heather and Katie, and then everyone else talking about it. And then it's just going to be, what can Alexis say to hurt Shannon's feelings today? And then Tamra calling her an alcoholic. That's basically the episode in a nutshell. But sorry that was a little short, but I guess it's better than rambling on too long. So let's just get into a little Bravo tea that's been happening this week. So we are getting the comeback of the century, not only on one show, but a whole new show. We got Stassi Schroeder, who I was so sad to see her leave Vanderpump Rules because her confessionals were so funny. I felt she was a great cast member. And the only person that is comparable in the confessionals now is James. I feel like he took the ropes a little and was following in Stassi's footsteps with the confessionals, but she said she would not return to Vanderpump Rules. And then she said she would not go on the Valley, even though she was approached. So we are getting her on season 2 of Vanderpump Villa, which I did not watch season 1 because one of my friends was like, oh, I started to watch it, but then it kind of stunk. And then I've heard a lot of reviews of that's what people were doing. They watched like 1 or 2 episodes and they're like, whatever. But you better believe I will be watching season 2. I feel like it's the type you don't even have to like catch up on season 1, or you can watch the like 2-minute recap, like previously on Vanderpump Villa season 1. I'll just get all my info that. But I cannot wait. I'm not sure when it's coming out. That's going to be exciting. And then she is getting her own show on Hulu. So this is so exciting. So Vanderpump Villa is on Hulu. And then she's getting it's like a docu-comedy series. And she said that it's endlessly relatable, utterly hysterical, and questionably sane. And Stassi is going to be with a bunch of characters who are dealing with identity crisis, major life crossroads of their own. And then Stassi is the one who has to keep them all afloat. It's going to be so funny. So the executive producer and other people are actually from Vanderpump Rules. So it's producers and executive producers that did Vanderpump Rules, which I think is interesting because as we remember back in the day, Stassi was fired. So I guess you're allowed to work with people that you fired, or maybe these are different executive producers and producers than at the time that she was on the show. But I am so excited that we're going to see her back on our TV screens because I just think she was really good TV. And Lisa actually, when she did the Not Skinny But Not Fat interview podcast like a month ago, I think, she said that she thinks Stassi and James are great TV. And I'm like, you bet they are, Lisa. Thank you for recognizing that. Everybody else is just whatever. So I guess we'll keep on the theme of Vanderpump. So we got good old Raquel, a.k.a. Rachel, a.k.a. Rocky, a.k.a. whatever she's going to be called next week, coming out of the woodwork talking about Jax Taylor taking care of his mental health. Now, of all people, I feel like she's the worst to weigh in because she said she never wanted to come back on the show because it's not good for her mental health, but all she does is talk about the show, the people on or off of that show, and that's what her podcast is just based on, just bitching about these people instead of confronting it head on and going back to the show. So she's also saying that she misses all the friendships from the show, even though, as we remember, she told Bethany she was never even friends with these people. And that's what she said to Ariana. So it didn't matter that she cheated with Tom because they were acquaintances, not friends. And it's like, okay. She just has foot in the mouth. Her and Tom Sandoval actually belong to each other because I feel like they are the same. They have like terrible ramblings and then try to like recover themselves from it. But it's like, maybe you should just stop talking. That's how you could recover from all this stuff. So she said that maybe we would see her on Vanderpump Rules. I don't know about that. And then Lala did an interview with like a parent magazine. And apparently she's doing Amazon Lives now with Michelle from the Valley to prepare for a baby. And I'm like, Michelle isn't pregnant and she had a baby like a while ago. So I don't know. I just feel like Lala is like desperate. She's try hard like how Alexis is on Orange County, but at least Alexis is on the show. I feel like Lala is trying anything to get on the Valley because I think she knows that Vanderpump is done so, in the words of Kristen Cavallari. But she is saying that she totally stands behind how she acted and everything she said about Ariana last season because I'm a mama bear and I got to keep food on the table for my kid and my soon-to-be child. And it's like, we get it. She just said that she felt like Ariana was jeopardizing the show's future by not cooperating during the finale. Now, it's supposed to be reality TV. So as Ariana said, in reality, she does not talk to Tom. So why would she have some fake apology and listen to him when that's just fake, because he's never tried to apologize to her off camera. So that's not real and that's not reality. And her truth and her reality was leaving and not hearing his talking, which I thought was fine as an ending. I don't think that's going to get the show canceled just because she stormed off. It's actually dramatic. It's like Jen Fessler did not stay for the end of Jersey. Are you going to say, oh, well, if we kept the same cast, we have to fire you because you left the lunch? No. A lot of people just storm off when they're mad because it's the reality. They're mad. They're uncomfortable. I don't want to see people acting. And I really feel at this point, Lala has started acting on the show and she just does whatever she thinks will get good ratings. Well, that's not reality. What gets good ratings is just keeping it real, to be honest. I don't know where Vanderpump's future goes from here. I don't think it's going to have Raquel on it, so sorry to burst her bubble. I don't know why she thinks she would come back on. Even if Ariana didn't come back, which I truly do not think Ariana will be coming back because she is booked and busy. She's about to go back on Chicago. She's going to do Love Island again. She doesn't need Vanderpump Rules. And unless they fire Tom, I don't know if she would want to come back. And then she's clearly not friends with Lala anymore. I feel like she's still friends with Sheena. She's still friends with James. But I don't know. It's like I feel like she's outgrown all those people. I feel like Katie doesn't like anybody except Ariana. I would love to see a little spinoff of the sandwich shop. I feel like a lot of people be like, no, that's boring. Or let's even bring it back to Sir, where it all started, and just do new people that actually work there. I'm sure we could get on board with new people as long as they'll bring it to us like all the old people did. I mean, at some point, the show doesn't even make sense anymore because it was based on them working there. They haven't worked there for a really long time. And now they all don't even like each other. So it's kind of like, all right, we're done with this. But moving on to a little bit of follow-up tea from Jersey, because I know I already recapped the season finale and I gave all my 2 cents with Christina the Bravo babe, which I loved doing that recap. That was amazing. And we gave all of our opinions on how Louie acted and the things he said. And obviously we did not like the harm he wished upon Margaret's son. That is just not right. And Teresa standing there thinking it's okay is crazy because she's the one that's always like, don't bring the kids into this. Well, if you think they're bringing the kids into it, why are you bringing the kids into it too? So the next day, Louie issued a statement, and it is just like Teresa's from the week or 2 prior when she had that orange background and the black font. So it's like all the same. So this even leads me to believe that Louie wrote that statement for Teresa when she posted it, because you're not even going to do different font or different background color. It's like, okay, tell us you wrote it without telling us you wrote it. So I'm going to read Louie's statement real quick. It was really long too. So he said, the finale was very tough for me to watch, and I wanted to address it with you all. After watching the finale, I was disappointed in my actions bringing up Margaret Joseph's son. The reason he was even brought up was because I have been dealing with being falsely accused of calling Margaret's son at his work, which is simply not true. For the last year, Margaret kept putting this narrative out there that I called her son at work, and I have had to deal with it knowing I am being lied on. Still, I know better not to bring someone's child up, and it is something I deeply regret. So I do want to apologize and acknowledge that I was wrong. There's been a lot of toxicity on the show that has affected everyone on the show. We have been dealing with a lot of frustrating things behind the scenes, and it has been very hard for our entire family and my children, who have been really impacted by all that's happened at the hands of certain people. 2 wrongs don't make a right, and I deeply regret saying what I said. Now, I feel that apology was a, I'm sorry, but. I feel like he had to explain why he wished harm upon someone's child on national TV. I mean, I hate to be totally one-sided because I'm sure I have people that listen to this that do like Teresa more than Melissa. And all the old episodes have been on lately, And I love watching the old episodes. You know why? Because that's when I liked watching Teresa. Putting her and Melissa's issues aside, Teresa is not in it anymore. She is so miserable on camera. Whether or not it's because of the people she films with, she never puts that aside. She is never enjoyable to watch anymore. And all the meanwhile, along with her comes this creep. And I feel Louie has ruined the show for her. Him bringing the Bo Deedle shit last season, all the cease and desist, all the investigations, all the bullshit, that never used to happen. Now you come along and it's happening. Obviously, it's you. And now we got him saying all these statements, her saying all these statements. Their lawyer that's next to the crack dungeon in Atlantic City had to come on and explain it to the ladies to like brainwash them. I mean, Teresa honestly looks brainwashed when you see her with Louie. And do you know what's even sicker? So that statement was just annoying and stupid. But then he was on her podcast and he said that, oh, I tell your girls, you know, they're only young once. Like, you need to wear that thong. Have your legs hang out. Like, you guys look hot. Do it now while you're young. And I'm like, ew. Like, if I could fine tooth comb it, I, at the end of the day, understand what he means. He means you're only going to live once and you're only going to be young once. Like, they're all young, attractive, beautiful, smart girls. And it's like, yeah, like, you look great in that bathing suit. Wear that bathing suit. It is just so creepy that their stepdad is saying that. It's not like their mom is saying that or like they're saying that to each other. Like, yeah, Melania, like that tank top looks great on you. Like, your boobs are like, look so big in it. And like, you only live once, so do it. No, I don't want my stepdad saying that. Like, what? So weird. If Bravo is not creeped out by this man, then I don't even know where the future of that show goes, because I feel like we've got to get rid of her to get rid of him, or like do a spinoff maybe, so the people that are just diehard obsessed with her and want to put up with his shenanigans can watch him be creepy on a whole separate show. But I really just feel like he has ruined it, and he is just so creepy. Like, really wondering what Joe Giudice is thinking about this. I wrote under the video because someone posted that clip of him saying that about the stepdaughters. I have like 500 likes and it keeps growing. But that all I put was wondering what Joe Giudice is thinking about this. Yeah, like maybe he is going to kick your ass like he did to Joe Gorga back in the day. All those brawls that we had, which also, that's why I thought it was so funny. Jen Fessler, side note, had to leave Rail's Steakhouse because she thought it was just getting too trashy and too physical. I'm like, girl, have you ever watched a episode of the show? It's been like that since day one. Seriously. Including Teresa shoving Andy down in his seat in like season 2 reunion. She's like, you are a piece of garbage. Don't talk about my family. Do not bring up my family. Shoved him right down in that chair. I don't know. I just feel like they have got to get Louie away from this show because he has just ruined it. It's sad. I feel like Teresa has picked a shady, weird husband. I feel so bad for her. I feel bad for those girls that they're stuck with this rock lobster. He's giving me the ick. He's getting creepy. I don't know how we just move on and like forget this. And he's going to be wearing No-No's pajamas if we keep it up, if we keep him on the show. And I am not prepared to watch that. And I do not want to watch that.
As always, this was so fun, and you could find me on Instagram at Bravo T with the Stay at Home Mom, Spotify and Apple. Till next time, see ya.